Hello everyone, I am Dr. Swati Gupta and today I am going to explain PV ratio, the price to book ratio. PV ratio compares a company's market value to its book value and helps investors to understand if a company's stock is overvalued, undervalued or fairly valued compared to its net worth. Key concepts used in PV ratio. First, book value. Book value represents the net worth of a company. It is the value of a company's total assets after subtracting its total liabilities. Or we can say that it shows the amount that shareholders would theoretically receive if the company liquidated all its assets and paid off all its debts. Formula for book value is equal to total assets minus total liabilities. If we subtract total liabilities from the total assets, we can get the book value. What is total assets? All the resources owned by the company such as cash, buildings, equipment, inventory, etc. comes in total assets. Total liabilities, all the obligations or debts the company owes such as loans, accounts payable, salaries payable, etc. are the total liabilities. The difference between both is the net worth that belongs to the shareholders. Second, market value. This is the total value of the company based on its stock price. Market value is equal to stock price multiplied by number of shares outstanding. Third, PV ratio. This compares the company's market value to the company's book value, or we can say it's actually worth on paper. Formula for PV ratio. PV ratio is equal to market price per share divided by book value per share. If PV ratio is less than 1, the stock is trading for less than the company's net worth. It could mean the stock is undervalued or the company has problems like poor profitability or bad management. If PV ratio is equal to 1, it means the stock is valued exactly at its net worth. If PV ratio is more than 1, it means investors are paying more than the company's net worth. This may indicate optimism about the company's growth, strong intangible assets like brand value, or it may indicate that stock is overvalued. We will try to understand PV ratio through an example. Suppose a company has total assets of rupee 500 million, total liabilities of rupee 200 million, shares outstandings 10 million, and stock price per share is rupee 40. First of all, we have to calculate the book value. Book value is equal to total assets minus total liabilities. Total assets is 500, total liabilities is 200. So, book value is 300 million. After then, we have to calculate the book value per share. Book value per share is equal to book value divided by total shares outstanding. It means 300 divided by 10. Book value per share is rupee 30. Now finally, PV ratio is equal to market price per share divided by book value per share. Market price per share is 40 rupee and book value per share is 30 rupee. So, PV ratio is 1.33. It means investors are paying rupee 1.33 for each rupee 1 of the company's net assets. Now, advantages of the PV ratio. First, simplicity. The PV ratio is very easy to calculate. All you need is a company's stock price and its book value, which you can easily get from the balance sheet. It also gives a quick overview of whether a stock is undervalued or overvalued. Second, indicator of undervaluation. Value investors use the PV ratio to find potentially undervalued companies. A PV ratio below 1 may indicate that a stock is undervalued. It means it trades for less than the company's net worth. This could present an opportunity for investors to buy a stock cheaply. Third, asset heavy companies. The PV ratio works best for the companies that have significant tangible assets such as real estate, banking, manufacturing, and utilities. In these industries, assets are a leading factors of value. So the PV ratio gives a reliable picture of whether the stock is overvalued or undervalued. For example, a real estate company that owns buildings and land, the book value will include these tangible assets, making the PV ratio a reliable tool to evaluate its value. Fourth, comparing companies within the same industry. The PV ratio is particularly effective when comparing companies operating in the same sector. Companies in the same industry typically have similar type of assets, making it easier to compare their valuation. For example, if one bank has a PV ratio of 0.9 and another bank has 1.5, the first bank may be undervalued compared to the second. Fifth, less sensitive to earnings volatility. PV ratio is based on assets and liabilities which are more stable. A company with volatile earnings due to market changes may still have a stable PV ratio if its assets remain constant. Sixth, comparable across time. Since book value changes slowly, it provides a consistent measure for comparing a company's valuation over time. Investors can track how a company's market value has changed relative to its book value. If a company's PV ratio has steadily increased over the last 5 years, it may indicate growing investors' confidence in its future growth. Now, limitations of the PV ratio. First, ignores intangible assets. The PV ratio doesn't include intangible assets like patents, brand value, goodwill, or intellectual property in its calculation. Companies in industries like technology, healthcare, and IT companies derive a lot of their value from intangible assets, which are ignored by the PV ratio. Second, doesn't reflect current market value. The PV ratio relies on the book value, which is based on the historical cost of assets, not their current market value. If assets have appreciated significantly in value, the book value or the PV ratio will not reflect this. For example, a real estate company bought land 20 years ago in rupee 10 lakh, but its market value today is rupee 1 crore. The PV ratio will still use the outdated rupee 10 lakh value, leading to an inaccurate picture of the company's worth. Third, not suitable for all industries. The PV ratio works best for asset heavy industries such as manufacturing, real estate, banking, but it is not effective for service oriented or technology companies. In sectors like consulting, education, or software, where tangible assets are minimal and value comes from human capital or intellectual property, the PV ratio becomes irrelevant. For example, a consulting firm with very few physical assets but a strong brand and talented employees will have a low book value. The PV ratio may suggest it is undervalued even it is growing well. Fourth, doesn't consider profitability. The PV ratio only looks at the company's assets and liabilities and does not account for how well the company is performing. A low PV ratio could mean the stock is undervalued, but it could also indicate the company is unprofitable or poorly managed. Fifth, limited use during high inflation. In times of high inflation, the historical cost of assets used in book value becomes outdated and may no longer represent their actual worth, and it makes the PV ratio less reliable for evaluating companies. For example, if inflation has caused the price of machinery or real estate to double, the book value will still show the old cost and it can mislead conclusion about the company's value. Sixth, overlooked leverage. The PV ratio doesn't consider a company's debt or leverage or the financial risk associated with it. A company with high debt might appear undervalued because its book value is high, but the risk caused by the debt is ignored in it. Concluding it, we can say that the PV ratio is a simple tool to check if a stock is trading above or below its net worth. It is most useful for asset heavy industries, but it should be combined with other ratios like P ratio, debt to equity ratio for a complete analysis and better result. Thank you.